APC flags of governorship candidate campaign in Ekiti. A Nigerian Navy intercepts petroleum product worth millions of naira from smugglers in Calabar. Correspondent on Special Report examines efforts to tackle sickle cell as the world marks the day. Welcome to Panorama. I am Ogwa Vivian Onyedibia. Stay tuned. Today is World Sickle Cell Day, and as Nigeria is ranked to have the highest number of sickle cell sufferers in the world, our correspondent Oyeyemi Ajayi gives us an overview.
Sickle cell disease, also known as sickle cell anemia, is a group of blood disorders typically inherited from a person's parent. It results in an abnormality in the oxygen-carrying protein hemoglobin found in the red blood cells, and this leads to a rigid sickle cell shape under certain circumstances. Sickle cell disease occurs when a person inherits two abnormal copies of the hemoglobin gene, one from each parent. Worthy of knowledge is the fact that the persons with AS hemoglobin have sickle cell traits, and these are the sickle cell carriers, while those with hemoglobin SS suffer from sickle cell disease. This disease mostly begins around 5 to 6 months of a child's age. A number of health problems may develop in the life of the carrier, and these includes attacks of pain referred to as sickle cell crisis, anemia, swelling in the hands and feet, bacterial infections, and stroke. Diagnosis for sickle cell is by blood test and during pregnancy, while some countries test all babies at birth for the disease. An attack can be set off by temperature changes, stress, dehydration, and high altitude. About 80% of sickle cell disease cases are believed to occur in sub-Saharan Africa. In Nigeria, 3.6 million people have sickle cell disease, with over 150,000 babies born with serious condition every year, making the country to have the highest number of sickle cell cases in the world. However, despite efforts are on by the government and some others concerned to ensure proper care is given to sickle cell patients, and the establishment of sickle cell centers in some parts of the country, especially in Lagos and Edo states, how active and functional are they? Sadly, there is still variable and poor utilization of standard of care practices for sickle cell disease patients in the country. Recently, the government of Edo State Godwin Obaseki pledged 25 million naira as intervention fund for the Edo State Sickle Cell Center as part of efforts to reposition the facility for better service delivery. Also, some Nigerians have embarked on campaigns, awareness, and counseling to ensure people know their genotypes and to prevent future disaster. Care for people with sickle cell disease may include infection prevention with vaccination and antibiotics, high fluid intake, folic acid supplementation, and pain medication. Other measures may include blood transfusion. As it is, little percentage of people can be cured by a transplant of bone marrow cells, and it is not recommended to every sickle cell patient. Bone marrow transplantation for sickle cell has been around since the late 1980s, although still not widely available. Among the recommendations for the prevention of sickle cell in the country is that carriers should not marry someone who has AS or SS hemoglobin, as this is a life-threatening risk to the children. Rather, only someone with AA hemoglobin should be a strongly considered partner. As the world marks the World Sickle Cell Day, how different can the carriers be treated?
And still talking health, Nigerian children are now guaranteed adequate immunization following the 10 years extension of immunization sponsorship by Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, Gavi. Well, this is as the country intensifies efforts as ensuring increased funding for immunization program and developing capacity for local vaccine production. Chimdima Ndubisi in this report looks at the importance of the extension to Nigeria's immunization program.
39-year-old Ena Obasi, having suffered measles attack at age 5, is left with an indelible mark, visual impairment.
We did not have the opportunity to participate in the immunization.
He's lucky to have survived. Some other children die from these vaccine-preventable diseases, such as measles, diarrhea, pneumonia, meningitis, and polio.
Immunization is when you induce the body to produce antibodies against targeted organisms. It was found out that there are common organisms that cause debilitating illnesses in children. So if by immunization you save the child a lot of problems. One, illnesses that will have long-term effects.
The Pediatric Association of Nigeria puts the number of children who die from these vaccine-preventable diseases at 1 million annually. A staggering figure that moved the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, Gavi, in 2001 to commit more than $700 million Nigeria to take over full funding from Gavi by 2021 after the economy was rebased. But tight fiscal space and low immunization coverage have made Nigeria to seek Gavi's extension of the sponsorship for the next decade. An appeal that Gavi has agreed to, committing more than $1 billion, while Nigeria provides counterpart funding of $1.9 billion for the program that is worth more than $2.7 billion.
We gave a commitment to Gavi that we will, in a progressive manner over the next 10 years, improve and increase funding to immunization. We are also made to pay back some funds which were not properly utilized. The funding flow into Nigeria must be transparently used, and we must account for every dollar.
We articulated a comprehensive plan over the next 10 years that really matches the aspirations of Nigerians for immunizations and primary health care.
It's a welcome development. When the vaccines are given, it will drop the rate of these diseases, and also will improve under 1 and under 5 survival rates.
The Ministry of Health, under the new partnership, projects that lives of about 1.5 million children will be saved by 2028, with immunization rates reaching up to 85% in all states. Gains on polio eradication will be consolidated and primary health care system strengthened. In Abuja, Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
And moving on now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo will today lead a national leadership of All Progressives Congress (APC) to formally present the party's flag to its candidate in July 14th governorship election in Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. Samuel Johnson reports that some of the 35 political parties participating in the governorship election have also flagged off campaign for the victory of the party at the polls.
The electorate in Ekiti State have been awash with various campaign messages and exposed to political rallies and slogans following the lift of ban on partisan politics ahead of the July 14th governorship election to choose a new leadership for the state. With 35 political parties contesting the governorship seat of the 22-year-old political entity, Ekiti State, whose people's homogeneity has always been a factor in determining leadership, the political class has had a busy schedule in canvassing votes from the people as the All Progressives Congress (APC) formally presents its flag to the standard bearer, Dr. Kayode Fayemi. Expectations are high, while the electorate consider options available for the state that still has high infrastructure deficit and gap in welfare programs for the masses. The People's Democratic Party, the Social Democratic Party, Mega Party, Democratic Alternative, Independent Democratic Party, All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, are some of the political parties that have commenced campaign and have presented flags to their candidates. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as the umpire in the election, has been meeting with political parties and other stakeholders to ensure a transparent, credible, and age-free electoral process. From Ado-Ekiti, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has presented the voter register to political parties in Ekiti State ahead of the July governorship election. Ayodeji Ogunshaki reports.
Following the continuous voter registration exercise in Ekiti State, records from the election management body INEC show that a total number of 913,334 registered in the state from 2016 to June this year, out of which 563,051 collected their permanent voters card to qualify them to exercise their civic responsibility come July 2018 governorship election. Bringing such detailed information to the notice of the key players and the general public became necessary to avoid misguided information, hence the public presentation of the voters' registers to the political parties. The national chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakub, who was represented by the national commissioner in charge of Ekiti, Osun and Oyo states, Adedeji Shoyebi, said the public presentation is a constitutional right of the political parties to be acquainted with the voters' register to prevent wrong perception about the number of eligible voters. The national chairman said the body has devised means of using high-technology smart card readers that are voters' friendly.
Conduct a credible election in the state, not just in the state. It's even a statement towards the 2019 elections that we are coming.
I think this is a welcome development. It will aid all the political parties to get familiar with the voters register.
A wrong person will be carrying the PVC, and if it's not checked that is at the point of voting, there will be a problem. This on its own does not show absolute honesty.
This digital register given to us will help all the political parties. We will not be asking questions. This is soft landing that we are asking for them, and this has been given.
High point of the program was the presentation of the voters' registers to the various political parties. From Adekiti, Ayodeji Ogunshaki, NTA News.
And officials and members of the People's Democratic Movement from all 16 local government areas of Taraba State have defected to the All Progressives Congress. They were received by the state leadership of the APC, who assured them of a level playing ground. Joseph Otsen has details.
It is celebration all over at the All Progressives Congress APC. Taraba North Zonal Secretariat Jalingo as the party receives additional members. The newly elected state chairman of the party, Adomumuni Vaki, received the defecting members from the People's Democratic Movement (PDM), comprising of all the state ESCO members and local government officials from the 16 local government areas of the state, as well as hundreds of other party members and supporters. Commenting their bold decisions to join the APC, Adomumuni Vaki assured them of equal treatment and privileges as any other APC member.
As you see, we received them today. We are going to receive, there are still many in other local governments too. We are going to go around and receive all of them. They love APC. They have accepted that APC is the ruling party in Nigeria, and they are coming back.
The defecting PDM members, through the state chairman of the party, Alhaji Kabiru Muhammad, said they were moved by the level at which APC is working to develop the country.
We need equity and justice.
Also speaking, the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Aisha Jumai Al-Hassan, described the courage demonstrated by the decamping members as visionary.
Well, people are beginning to see that the only option is APC. Therefore, I'm happy that they are realizing that APC is the place to go.
The minister presented copies of APC Constitution to the new party members to acquaint themselves with the tenets of the party. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound Otsen, NTA News.
And the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has been declared winner of all the 23 local government chairmanship seats in the just concluded local government election in Rivers State. Chairman Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, Justice Chukwunenye Uriri, declared the results in Port Harcourt. Robinson Deratede reports.
The Rivers State local government election was conducted on Saturday, June 16th, across the state with over 26 political parties participating in the process. After collations of the results from all the polling units, the chairman of the State Independent Electoral Commission described the process as free, fair, and credible.
Therefore, I start with Abuja local government area. For all progressive Grand Alliance to have Abuja who scored 16 votes. For Labour Party, we had Mofo Elaye Kebin, who scored 110 votes. Scored 58,628 votes.
All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, and Labour Party were some of the political parties whose candidates participated in the local government elections. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Terateide, NTA News.
We now take some messages. The news continues after. To stay with NTA.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Thank you for staying tuned. Civil society groups across the continent are in Abuja seeking ways of achieving the African Union agenda for 2018, winning the fight against corruption, a sustainable path to Africa's transformation. Victor Azu reports that the two-day workshop aims at finding lasting solutions to the scourge of corruption on the continent.
In this hall are civil society organizations, African Union officials, and representatives of the government of Nigeria. They are here gathered to fast-track the achievement of the African Union theme for 2018, which seeks to eliminate corruption on the African continent as a route to sustainable development. Declaring the summit open, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who is represented, explains that the war on corruption will require the collaborative efforts of all key players on the continent.
We welcome a very strong message from this conference that will go around to create this awareness through advocacy and collaborative efforts.
Other speakers at the event, including the representative of the West African Civil Society Forum, Komlan Messi, agree that corruption has held Africa back for too long.
You can count on the civil society, you can count on WACSOF to do its part in combating corruption. The truth of the matter is we cannot keep corruptions and at the same time calling for development. For us to achieve Agenda 2063 of the Union, corruption of the first death weight.
The two-day summit aims at popularizing and raising awareness on Africa's decision to combat corruption. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
And talking security now, the Nigerian Navy has continued to tackle the issue of economic sabotage across the country through its fight against bunkering, smuggling and piracy within the maritime domain. Well, the recent is the seizure of about 100,000 liters of illegally refined petroleum product by the NNS Victory Calabar. Maureen Leo Ajom reports.
The 500 drums with over 100,000 liters of illegally refined petroleum product is worth 23 million naira street market value. The product arrested alongside 8 suspects is alleged to come from Rivers State.
We all know the consequences of people taking laws into their hands to sabotage the effort of the government. A lot of effort has been made by the command to fix our boats. We are ever ready anytime to go after them.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps was on ground to take delivery of the products and the suspects for further investigations and prosecution.
We are the prosecuting agency for all oil criminality. And as soon as anything like this is handed over to us, what we normally do is to carry out further investigations and then prosecute them in the court of law.
The Nigerian Navy says it will leave no stone unturned in ridding the waterways of criminal elements. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
And the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, has urged the people of Northern Borno to take advantage of the ongoing Operation Last Hold to return to their communities and resume socio-economic activities. General Buratai said this at the inauguration of Operation Last Hold in Gudumbali, Guzamala local government areas in Borno State. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details. We'll bring you that report in a subsequent bulletin. Let's take sports now. Nigeria's 2018 African Youth Games training camp in Abuja bubbles as athletes compete for selection. Kene Emabodike is our guide on Sports Update.